Hello and welcome back to our series of videos where we're talking to folks who will be with us at Index San Francisco, February 20th to the 22nd at Moscone West. I'm here today with Dan Shaw. Dan is known as, is it the godfather of Node.js?
Yeah, been around for forever, knows everything in the Node ecosystem. If you like need to figure out what's going on, probably know it, and also trained a lot of the early folks that are out there in leadership positions around the Node ecosystem.
Dan, I see you at all these events, at all these developer events, and everybody's in t-shirt and jeans, and you are always looking so much spiffier than the rest of us. What's up? You just trying to show everybody up? Is that it?
I'm trying to show everybody up. No, it's you'll see. I have the signature uniform on today with my OSS Summit shirt on.
I love it.
It's a very intentional model. I'm a developer. I still identify as a developer, but I don't develop in my day-to-day anymore. I spend most of my time, in sort of executive sessions and management things, and helping steer the bigger picture of things. I keep the jacket on. That's what I'm doing. But I'm still a developer at heart. So the reason why I sport the T-shirt is to keep that for myself, and also help folks understand that I'm not just gonna talk a business thing.
It keeps you grounded. Keeps you grounded. I get it.
Grounded, absolutely.
So you mentioned, some high level meetings and things but you're more involved in the Node.js community than that. So tell me a little bit about the work you do within the Node.js community these days. I know you have a long history, and you've been working on it since way back, but tell me what you're up to these days.
Right. Yeah. So, I had the opportunity to bring, work with Scott Hammond of Joint and bring things into the Node.js Foundation. So I'm the advisory board there, one of the founding members through NodeSource of the foundation, and serve there on the board. These days, post NodeSource, I've been plugged in. I've been working with the TSC on evolving some of the patterns of governance. It's a very interesting model that we have with Node, in that we are very community driven, community oriented, and very much community owned in terms of the project. And we have many of our technical collaborators who have been with us for many years, love to work on the code of Node. But there's aspects of how we interact together, how we work together, that definitely can use improvement. And that's an area that with my experience in sort of building community, managing teams, that I've been working with the TSC, and most recently the community committee, the ComCom, on. I also plucked off a really sort of meaty initiative. We haven't had ever a user feedback function. So, as a part of the community committee, we've been looking for, what are the ways that we can engage through the Node.js project with our community members. And one of the glaring, absences for me was, an absence of real end user engagement. We have some easy ways in which individuals can come in, and if they have a bug that they find in Node, they can submit it, or a security issue. But those interactions are increasingly rare. The platform is really stable, and it's really on the edges that we ever have any major bugs slipping through. But what we don't have is a well-managed feedback loop with our end user community.
So as you continue to implement this and beef up the user feedback, which is something, we started talking about that in one of our Cloud Minds huddles last year, and it's been amazing to see how you guys have really taken it and run with it in the ComCom, and which is, I think it speaks to the power of the community. So, but one thing that I wanted to ask about the initiative is, now that you're getting this user feedback, what are you hearing?
So, one of the great confirmations that we've heard is that, APIs and microservices still are, this bread and butter of Node. There's a bit of a trend that I'm seeing across your larger shops with Node. When Node was really getting adopted, there was this concept of backend for front end that was super popular. And it's basically, you take your monolithic code base, you build this new service in front of it, and that will handle some of the back and forth with your React app. And at TELUS, HomeAway, ADP, companies across the ecosystem, they are abandoning backend for front end, or BFFs model, and that's really evolving toward a API driven backend. So APIs and with that GraphQL based APIs are really taking over, where special purpose services had been before. The inflection point has been crossed there, and now that those are just being migrated over to pure APIs that services across the companies can use effectively.
Excellent. So that kind of nods a little bit to the future of where it's heading, and I think the future of Node.js is going to be a big part of what you guys will be talking about at Community Day. So Community Day, for those of you who don't know, is during Index San Francisco. February 20th is the actual Community Day. And it's not just Node.js, it's the JS Foundation, it's Hyperledger Project, it's Kubernetes and Docker. And at indexconf.com, you can check out all of the communities that are going to be there. Dan will be focused specifically on Node.js and specifically on that user feedback aspect. So can you tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to at Community Day from the Node.js side?
Yeah, so we have a great session in the afternoon on Community Day on the 20th, and we're going to be bringing some of our end users up on stage. So we have Bradley Farias from GoDaddy, who's been working very closely with the engineering team at GoDaddy to bring their perspective to this user feedback session. And Joel Chen, who is leading the Node.js efforts at Walmart Labs, is also joining us. And we recently completed a survey project in collaboration with the benchmarking working group of the Node.js project. And that was really interesting perspective. Nice to sort of go through the entire process of getting that data collected and working with the Node.js Foundation to collect this information. And now at Index, we're going to be bringing that feedback and sharing what the results of that survey, introducing folks to some representatives from the technical steering committee and representatives from the benchmark working groups, as well as representatives from the community committee, and just build connective tissue when I started the user feedback initiative inside of the community committee, one of the most important things to me was that the user feedback that we create be bidirectional. So it's great and all to get data from the ecosystem, but if the ecosystem doesn't feel like it can leverage the fact that they put in the effort to interact, then I think we're selling ourselves short. And honestly, I think we're missing a great opportunity to gain greater understanding and collaboration of a very active user community.
Right. So making those issues and those initiatives, making them actionable is always a tough thing for any community. Well, Dan, looking forward to seeing you at Index San Francisco, and looking forward to the fact that you'll be dressed far nicer than the rest by virtue of the fact that you won't be in just t-shirt and jeans. You'll have the sport coat over the t-shirt.
There you go. Right.
That is key. I love it. Well, thank you again. Thanks for taking the time, and we'll see you in San Francisco.
You bet. Thanks, Kevin. Take care.